You guys have asked, and as usual, I deliver. I am going to be the first that is going to spray an entire car with that little thing right there. So this is going on YouTube, by the way, just so you know. I told all my fans I was gonna, you know those little like tiny air compressors? Here.
Really?
Yeah. I grew up 20 minutes up the road.
I want to run up and get you.
Yeah, battery. Definitely sounds a little. Doesn't shift too bad.
How much am I bid for item 751?
$1.
I have a buck. I have $1, $1 there. $1, $1, sold for $1.
Colbert, Speedokote Finish Network. All right, it is the time you guys have all been waiting for. You guys have asked, and as usual, I deliver. A lot of people on my YouTube page have asked, hey, what's like the smallest size air compressor you can use, blah, blah, blah. Well, we are going to paint an entire car with the old 6.6 gallon Vivor. That little puppy right there can be had off of Amazon for $129, shipped to your door for free. Throw in some paint materials, which is going to be around $300. Throw in some sandpaper, a sander, some whatever else. We're going to see if we can actually paint a car like with literally everything you need, including the tools, for under $800 to $1,000. There is nobody else on YouTube that has done this. I've seen other guys, they've used that compressor, they'll do a spot job, hood, fender, bumper, blah, blah, blah. I am going to be the first that is going to spray an entire car with that little thing right there. So we're going to go ahead and put the camera down. We got some body work to do on this thing first, and let's get this thing rolling.
Dude is cleaning his car. He spit on it, wiping it down, and everything. I don't know what's good. Look at him spitting on it, wiping it down.
Now, one of the things I really love about the Speedokote primers is very minimal overspray with their aerosol cans. I had 2 pieces of 6-inch paper around that repair. Now, granted, I was holding the can real close to that already by itself limits overspray, but no overspray, no problems. It has a nice thick build, really good for your body work. Now we're getting ready to go ahead and put the final touches on prep. Now, this is just what I like to do. Everybody likes to prep cars differently and clean cars differently before they paint. I get that. Everybody has a method. Me personally, over the years, I've found pressure washing with a decontaminating chemical, like a degreaser chemical, and then pressure washing behind it does get me the cleanest jobs that I have actually ever gotten. I used to not do this before. I used to just wipe it down with pre-clean, wax and grease remover and all that stuff, blow it out. But just nothing really substitute high pressure washer, a good suds, suds and bubbles and cleaner. It just works really well. All right, guys, we have made it. It is paint day. Show you guys the paint we're using. We got the Speedokote. This is the exact code that's on the car. Now, some people have been hesitant with the Speedokote base because, it is a little bit up there in price. But however, guys, you got to keep in mind, I paid $1.99 for this kit right here, okay? It's a quarter base and a quarter reducer. That is a half a gallon of sprayable paint. For $1.99, that's $100 per sprayable quart. For a paint that covers in one coat, that is pretty cheap. Also going cheap on the clear coat. We got the $119.99 Spot Glamour Clear. We're going to spray the entire car with it. Yes, you can spray an entire car with a Spot Clear during very cold conditions. It actually works very well. I've been doing this for years. I've been spraying entire cars during the winter time with Spot Clears, and it comes out amazing. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get some paint mixed up, throw some paint in the gun, get a suit on, and we're gonna start spraying. So we're putting on a little bit of junk paint over the primer spots just to get a little bit of coverage before we move on to the Speedokote paint. We got 2 massive fish eyes right in the driver's side door. I'm actually glad this happened, I can show you guys how to fix it. So all you do is a lot of air and a lot of paint dusting. So you just kind of dust the paint into that fisheye and use a lot of air to dry it rapidly, and then just keep dusting it in that hole until it fills it, and then a nice coat over the whole area and fixed. Now, coming down to mixing up the Speedokote base coat. Now, this is the real deal. We're going at it. This is the real color we're using, so it's game time. I like to add just a little bit of extra reducer. It says to mix 1-to-1. I like to add just a tiny bit extra because this paint, it's got a lot of pigment in it, a lot of color. It's a little bit thick, so like I said, I just add just a smidge extra reducer, maybe an ounce to an ounce and a half extra. You can use your best judgment. But one thing I will say is never over-reduce your base coat way beyond manufacturer recommendations. Why? There's scientists behind these products, there's years of research behind them, and when you over-reduce them, you're changing the chemical makeup of these paints. They're designed a specific way, and they're designed to be used a specific way within reason. Automotive paints are derived of binder, pigment, and solvent. Now, when you throw that balance way off course, you're actually stripping away the 2 other components of that paint, which is the binder and the pigment. If you ever notice, when you over-reduce paint, it doesn't cover as well. Why? Because your reducer is overpowering and stripping away the other 2 powers / components of that paint.
He's one of the best scientific minds we have today.
Now, one of the most challenging things you're going to have to deal with if you do decide to take the leap of faith and spray your entire car with a 6.6 gallon air compressor, you will be panel painting. You will be painting each individual panel, letting your compressor fill back up, and then moving to the next panel. Let your compressor fill back up, move to the next panel. It is a very doable process. It wasn't too frustrating for me, but I can imagine for some people that are impatient or just don't really know what they're doing, it can get kind of frustrating. I was waiting an average of maybe 20 seconds to 30 seconds in between panels to let my compressor fill up. This VVOR fills up lightning fast. It is a powerhouse. It looks small, but it is mighty. It's like that little Chihuahua dog, you know, across the street that your neighbor has, and you think it's harmless, but then you walk up to it one day and about gnaws your finger off. That's what that little compressor is. Never in my auto body career would I have ever imagined a compressor that small to put out that much power. But to save on air, as you guys can see, I kind of am like changing up my trigger habits. So I kind of let off the trigger in between passes, which if you guys can try that as well, that might help you out. But you definitely got to make some adjustments in your spraying to get this to work. Overall, my best piece of advice with my fans with smaller compressors and stuff like that, you know, your biggest trick in the box is not going to be, you know, running to the latest big box store and getting the latest, you know, gizmo, mabobber, spray gun, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's really going to be actually Mother Nature. That's like honestly the key. Spraying on rainy, cold days is your best bet. Rain, less dust, cold gives you more time to work with the material, and also let your material flow out flatter, even if you don't lay it on perfect. There you go, guys. That wraps it up. We did it. We accomplished it. We did what a lot of professional painters out there, including myself, would probably say is the impossible. We took one of the smallest air compressors in the world and sprayed an entire car with it and got some pretty good results for a cheaper, older car. Now, one of the things I'm actually most impressed about is we don't really have any blotchiness in the metallics. I mean, I'm walking the side. This is out in the sun, so this is going to expose your tiger stripes, your blotchiness, your unevenness in your metallics. And there you go, nice sun shot right there. There is no tiger stripes. This was just a cheap scratch and shoot, so you know, you still see we got a couple little spots in the bumper. That's probably the worst run I had, was right there in the bumper and in the hood. Rest of the car, pretty much perfect, man. To get this good of a result outside of a paint booth, cheap spray gun. We're using my brand of spray guns. I only sell them for 189 bucks. Cheap spray gun, cheap clear coat. Everything was cheap, okay, to get this good of a result. And I'm not saying it's like perfect. Like, this is not a, like, you know, Brian, my man Brian from Paint Society, man, they do some crazy paint jobs on some old Hondas in his shop. They make these cars probably look better than Honda themselves could have made them look. This is not one of his paint jobs. You know, we did what we could. But, I mean, the color is smooth. It's even. Like I said, there's no blotchiness in the metallics. 2 coats of the Speedokote Glamour Clear. Looks great. This is uncut, unbuffed, straight off of the gun. Look at those fresh Speedokote metallics. This paint looks amazing. This paint covers so good, guys. Like I said, one of those 1-quart kits for a cheap little scratch and spray job that you only got a couple little bodywork spots in. 1-quart kit of that Speedokote base coat will do an entire car. And then just one of those production Glamour clear kits will get you about 2 to 3 coats out of over an entire car. For a cheap used car, you know, 2 coats of clear, that's all you really need. Got a good shine to it. I would say it could use a buff, in my opinion, just to kind of bring out just a little bit more shine. But, I mean, just off the gun, in my opinion, you know, looks pretty freaking nice. There you guys have it. We did it. You guys have been asking me for years. I finally have showed you guys a way to where if you're patient enough to let that compressor fill up about 100 times between base and clear, compressor, paint, sandpaper, sander, taping machine, everything said and done, under $1,000. You can, if you have the patience, paint your car right at home with $1,000, start to finish, tools, material, paint, everything you need. It can be done. I'm not saying you're going to get the best result. I'd recommend maybe doing a solid color if you're a beginner, metallic. I'm a professional painter myself. This, even for professional painter, this is a little bit challenging. The fluctuations in air pressure, constantly having to adjust and all that stuff, it will give you some inconsistencies in your paint job here and there. But I just wanted to give you guys a shy of hope that maybe you got your tax return, you got you an old little 04, 05 Acura Honda or whatever, or 90s Honda. You can do this yourself at home with $1,000. Tools, paint, materials, said and done, you can do it. But I will say this would not have been possible with cheaper base coat. Speedokote base coat really saved the day. It really made this job less frustrating. Also, the production Glamour clear, spraying in my shop in super low temperatures. Right as of right now, it is the only clear that's working for me in excess that will also help prevent getting crazy runs. You know, got a couple small ones in this one, probably due to user error and fluctuations in air pressure. But Speedokote products really helped the process along and making this a little bit less of a fight than what it already was using a super tiny air compressor. But anyways, I just wanted to do this for you guys. Just to be honest with you, I hate base model TLs. You guys know I have a Type S. I love my Type S. Base models can honestly go to hell. I bought this car just for you guys. I drove 3 hours to Baltimore, drove 3 hours back, towed it, used my rollback, wear and tear, all that other stuff. Got all the paint, got all the material just to do this video for you guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are looking for the best, most affordable auto body products in the world, head on over to www.speedokote.com. They have everything you need, start to finish. Base coat, primer, clear coat, etching primer, sealer, whatever you guys need. Start to finish to get your project done. Like and subscribe. New videos every